Something's definitely cooking in Kansas City. The front office is making noise again, one of the team's top guys is missing time, and a potential trade rumor just flipped the fan base upside down. These aren't just random updates. These are signs that something big might be brewing inside Chiefs Kingdom. Buckle up, because the next few days could change a lot. Let's start with what Clark Hunt just confirmed. All right, Chiefs fans. It's officially that time of the year when the rumor mill goes wild. And this time, it's not just fans throwing out crazy trade ideas on social media. It's Clark Hunt himself adding fuel to the fire. Yeah, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs just basically told everyone to keep their eyes glued to the transaction wire, because something might be coming. When Hunt was asked about the trade deadline, he didn't dodge the question or play it safe. Nope, he went straight for it. He said Brett Veach, the team's general manager, has always been an aggressive dude when it comes to improving the roster, and that this year won't be any different. His exact words? Brett Veach has historically been pretty aggressive at the trade deadline. If he feels like we have a need, he's not shy about going out and addressing it. And I think that'll be true again this year. That's a green light, people. A verbal go get someone straight from the top. And let's be real. When Clark Hunt says that, he's not just talking to the media. He's sending a message to the rest of the league. The Chiefs are shopping. Now sure, Hunt might have made it sound like Veach is the ultimate deal maker every single season. But the truth is a little more complicated. He's had his hits and misses. Remember 2022? That's when Veach made his biggest pre-deadline splash by trading for Kadarius Toney from the Giants. And say what you will about the guy, that move did end up helping during the Super Bowl run. In 2021, it was Melvin Ingram who came in midseason and made an impact on defense. But there were other years, like 2018, 2019, 2020, when Veach just stood pat. No moves, no fireworks, just trust in the roster. Still, this year feels different. The Chiefs have been lucky on the injury front, but the defensive tackle position is starting to look thinner than they'd like. Hunt even mentioned losing Omar Norman-Lott last week, which hurt their depth up front. That's why a move for an interior lineman seems more and more realistic by the day. Behind Chris Jones, they've got Jerry Tillery and Derek Nnadi. Solid guys, sure, but not exactly enough depth for a Super Bowl push if another injury happens. There are a few practice squad bodies hanging around. Marlon Tuipulotu, Zach Pickens, Broderick Martin. But that's not going to make Patrick Mahomes sleep any better at night. So now, everyone's asking the same thing. Who's the next piece? Hunt didn't drop any names, but the hints are all over the place. Teams that are already out of the playoff picture are expected to be sellers, which means the Chiefs could have options from the bottom of the league. A proven defensive tackle from a rebuilding team. That's exactly the kind of move Veach loves to make before the deadline. Clark Hunt didn't just give a standard owner answer. He sent a shot across the bow. The Chiefs aren't done. The dynasty isn't satisfied. And if history repeats itself, Kansas City could be one move away from tightening its grip on the NFL yet again. And just when fans were fired up thinking about new signings, a major concern popped up inside the locker room. And it involves one of the Chiefs' most important linemen. So while everyone was busy talking trades and roster upgrades, something else started quietly brewing. And it's not good news. Trey Smith, one of the toughest and most reliable guys on this Chiefs offensive line, is suddenly dealing with a back issue that just won't go away. At first, it barely made headlines. The Chiefs had just crushed the Raiders, Mahomes was putting on a clinic, Rashee Rice looked like his old self, and the defense was cooking. Nobody wanted to ruin the party with injury talk. But if you looked closely, Smith left that game early with back pain, and that was the first sign that something wasn't right. Fast forward a week later, and the story's completely different. Smith didn't practice all week, and when game day came against the Commanders, he wasn't even suited up. That's right, one of the anchors of the offensive line was out, and suddenly the Chiefs had to shuffle things around just to hold the fort. Mike Caliendo filled in at right guard, lined up next to Creed Humphrey, while Hunter Nourzad waited as the emergency backup. They even had to call up C.J. Hansen from the practice squad just to have extra protection, and you could tell right away the chemistry just wasn't there. The first half against Washington looked ugly. The offense stalled, the pocket collapsed more than once, and even though Mahomes and Andy Reid managed to fix things after halftime, that early stretch showed how big of a difference Trey Smith really makes. Now, let's not forget, the man just signed a massive deal. 4 years, up to $94 million with $70 million guaranteed. He went from 6th-round underdog to one of the highest-paid guards in the entire league. A fair deal for someone who's been nothing short of elite since stepping into the NFL. But back injuries? That's a different beast. especially for offensive linemen who carry around 320 pounds and live in the trenches. Smith has been a warrior since day one, rarely misses a snap, rarely even complains. So, if he's sitting out, you know it's serious. And the scary part? Back problems have a way of sticking around. You can tape up a wrist or a shoulder, but once the back starts acting up, it changes everything. Balance, strength, leverage. The good news? The Chiefs still managed to destroy Washington 28-7 without him. The bad news? You could feel that something was off up front. And if this thing lingers, it could be a nightmare heading into tougher matchups, like the Bills game that's coming up fast. Nobody's panicking yet, but there's definitely a sense of unease in the building. Trey Smith is the kind of player that holds the line together, both literally and emotionally. Without him, Mahomes feels more pressure, the run game loses rhythm, and the whole offense looks just a little less like Kansas City football. Everyone's hoping he'll be back soon, but until then, the Chiefs are finding out the hard way what happens when one of their quiet leaders goes missing. And just when fans thought the trade chatter couldn't get any crazier, a new rumor dropped, one that sounds insane at first, but might actually be a stroke of genius from the Chiefs front office. Okay, now this one had Chiefs Kingdom going back and forth all day. A trade proposal popped up that sounds totally wild at first, sending cornerback Joshua Williams to the Tennessee Titans. But here's the thing, the more you think about it, the more it actually makes sense. Kansas City's been clear about one thing. They're not afraid to move pieces if it means getting stronger where it matters most. Right now, that's in the trenches. With the defensive tackle depth looking shaky after losing Omar Norman-Lott, the Chiefs are on the hunt for reinforcements. And instead of throwing away draft picks, this idea flips the script, player for player. The Titans, meanwhile, are in full-on rebuild mode. They're shipping off veterans left and right. Jarvis Brownlee Jr. to the Jets, Roger McCreary to the Rams, all for late-round picks. Their secondary's been gutted, and they desperately need young, controllable talent. That's where Joshua Williams comes in. Williams is still just 24, with good size, speed, and real upside. He's not a superstar, but he's proven he can hold his own in Kansas City's rotation. The problem? The Chiefs are stacked at corner. Between Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, and others stepping up, Williams is slowly getting squeezed out of the picture. That's not a knock on him. It's just how loaded this defense is. Now imagine this. The Chiefs send Williams to Tennessee, and in return, they get veteran defensive tackle Sebastian Joseph Day. The guy's a steady, physical presence who can plug gaps and rush the passer, exactly the kind of plug-and-play depth the Chiefs need right now. Pair him with Chris Jones, and suddenly that interior line looks terrifying again. It's the kind of move that keeps you competitive without sacrificing the future. Williams gets a new home and a chance to shine as a starter, and the Chiefs get immediate help where they're thin. And knowing how Brett Veach operates, always aggressive, always creative, this kind of swap fits right into his playbook. Former Chiefs exec Mike Borgonzi, who's now with Tennessee, might even be the link that makes it happen. He knows Williams, he helped draft him, and if he thinks the kid can be part of the Titans rebuild, that's the kind of inside connection that turns crazy rumors into real trades. Let's be real. The idea of losing a young corner might sting a little, but when you're chasing another Super Bowl, you don't have time to wait for maybe. You need guys who can make plays now. If this trade ever goes down, it's not going to be a panic move. It's going to be a calculated chess play, the kind of deal that could quietly push Kansas City over the edge once again, just in time for another postseason run. So here's the deal. Hunt's hinting, Trey's hurting, and Veach might be scheming something big again. The next few days could reshape this team completely. But what do you think, Chiefs fans? Should Kansas go all in at the deadline? Drop your take below and hit subscribe for more.